Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? Nah, 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 no drama, yeah. Nah, 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 no drama, yeah. Nah, 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 no drama, yeah.
Welcome everyone to Kleaning Life with Kia. Happy Tuesday. Happy second day of December. We're already in December. This is insane. Like December is already here. And this past weekend or whatever, or last week, everybody was celebrating Thanksgiving, or your holidays. I don't know. Everybody's not so celebratory when it comes to certain things. I mean, it's the holiday, and you have your traditions, being with your family, time off work, eating, yada yada yada. So we've had that, and now it is officially the second day of December. So I hope you all are off to a good month. I hope you had a great day. I hope that you had a great holiday with your family and friends and just all the people that you love and care about. I hope it was amazing, nothing less than amazing. So welcome everyone to Cleaning Life with Kia. My name is Kia Smith, and I am the owner and founder of Help Now. It is a small cleaning, decluttering, organizing, basically household management business here in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area and surrounding areas. And I just specialize in all of those things, anything with household management. That's what I do. And I've been doing it for a while now, and I absolutely love it. So I'm just using my business as a platform here to just, talk about some things. Because like I said, my podcast is Cleaning Life with Kia. So we have to clean our homes. We have to keep up with our daily lives. And it is just ongoing every day, all day, in and out. And we have to figure these things out. And it's a very important component in our lives. And people just kind of, they just kind of go through the motion, but it's a big factor. So I just figured this would be a great platform to just discuss that, because you're having to keep your home in. You have to work, you have children, you have other hobbies and interests. If you have spouses or significant others, like it's life. So it's cleaning and it's life and it's everything in between. So we just talk about everything up in here. Again, my business is Help Now, and our mission is to help our clients manage their home and organize parts of their lives that matter the most by bringing families and communities together through complete household management. We have a passion to help heal and nourish our clients through life, whether they need help now or later. And I believe that with all my heart. Like, I enjoy what I do so much. I was in my hometown this past weekend, and it was just a joy. The whole weekend was just a absolute joy. I have to ramble. For those that have tuned in before, you already know. Before I get started on my topic, I just have to catch y'all up from the last time that we were here together. And for those that are new, that's just kind of what I do. I kind of just ramble because, like I said, it's just life. So all these things that we deal with, we deal with them, and we still have to manage our home. So I have to tell you about the things that I've been dealing with while I've been managing my home. I went home, had a great time. It was, for the holidays, of course. Also, I had a client, so it worked out perfectly. It was someone that I was familiar with and that I knew. Um, Someone that I knew, actually a classmate of mine, hired me for her mom to go in and do some work. So that was like extra special when people, know you and they trust you enough to recommend you to go into a space, with their loved ones, and trust you to do certain things to get the job done. So just the whole thing was just very, very, very intentional. So gonna have my topic tonight is helping parents and older relatives keep their home clean and organized. But before I begin, I would like to dedicate this show to my stepfather. So I was, yes, over the holiday, he transitioned and he passed away. And I just felt like it would be so cool to dedicate this show to him. He's never seen a show before. He's older, so he know nothing about social media and Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. Like that was never, his thing. And I was like, man, I knew that if he got it, and he knew about it and that was his thing, that he would definitely watch it and he would love it and he would have been so proud, of me. But like, I'm excited because he's transitioning, and I just feel like energy never dies. I feel like people just go into another space that we haven't seen and been exposed to yet. But I feel like I've just been so lifted and joy just since it happened. And I'm like, it's weird because then when you say stuff like that, some people, they take it. And I really don't care how people take it because everybody has a view and they have their feelings. But you know, you look back at a person, first of all, I was just blessed because like he was with us for like a long time. So we got a chance. It wasn't short-lived. A lot of people, like, their experiences with people that they love is so short-lived. And I mean, like, really, in the grand scheme of things. So he lived a long, wonderful, beautiful life, full life. And like he was just a dope dude. Like I love that man. And he was amazing to me and like to those kids, like Pawpaw, like Pawpaw. My kids had a Pawpaw. Their dad's father passed away when he was young. When their dad was young. So, way before they was even thought about in existence. And so he's been the only pawpaw that the boys have known ever in life. And when I tell you he nailed a job at being a great pawpaw, lived a long life. I had a beautiful I had a beautiful experience with him. You know how we just know people and we kind of just have these interactions with people, and some have long lasting experiences on you and feelings and emotions, and then some don't. People are just here for lessons and reasons and blessings and all that stuff. But I just like, I don't know, like, just I'm happy and I'm at peace and I'm just so full of joy. Like ever since, like my energy has been up since it happened. It's not, sometimes it's just time. And now he can connect with us and reach and look over us in a different space and in a different way. So I'm excited about that too. Like the boys haven't been, well, Samaja, he's different. He's away or whatever. But like the other, everybody has been like so chill. And I'm just so blessed that I was able to have that experience with him in life. Some of my, like, had he not been around, like the whole trajectory of my life had changed. Has been responsible for like some of the most wisest words. That wisdom, you can't pay for that. And anybody that knew him knew that he had it. uh, Outspoken, logical, like just a man, a real good man. Some of the best laughs I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. I'm talking about the laughs that your soul can't take it. Like I thought I was about to check out of here a couple times because there had just been some stuff like some cartoon stuff, and there was the energy, like the entire relationship. You'll have a person, you have one person, like it might be me, and then you'll have like 10 or 15 people. All 10 or 15 people may have a different perception and view of me. You know what I'm saying? That one person. But I can't speak on anybody else's experience, and I know it's gonna be good stuff as well, and maybe not good stuff. Like I don't know. I'm just talking about like my experience in this space in life with him, and it has been absolutely wonderful. And I it's like no regrets. I spent time with him. I talk. So when you do what you're supposed to do, and you feel like you should do and know to do, like you don't have those feelings. And getting older, you become wiser, and things just look different and it feel different. And I'm just grateful to be able to have known him, and for him to have been in my life and me to be a part of him. You just knew it was just a good fit for all of us. And definitely going to miss the energy physically in that space, but still around, already can feel them, and know that keeping everybody safe and resting and whatever it is that you do that we don't know that happen, after that. But, I just feel really good about it, to the point I went to work. I went back to work today, and I had walked in, and like, the manager, like you can tell, because I had to call in and let them know what happened or whatever. Like their eyes, I walk in, like everybody eyes kind of look, here go me. I'm like this. I'm like, no, 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 no. Don't look at me like that. It's okay, I promise. And I'm like, oh, then it's like I had to think about it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to not dread the talk, but I'm like, I know I'm gonna have a talk with these people, because of course my coworkers, they care about me. So you tell them somebody close to you passed away, of course they're going to be concerned and have those feelings of condolences or whatever. But it's like it's a trip when you're not in that energy. I had to tell them, I was like, listen, I said, I'm happy. And then my manager said, now that you mention it, it's like you look real refreshed and like glowy today. I said, I am. I said, I'm so happy. I said, just to know that, man, like to just think about it, it brings me so much joy. And I was there with my mom, and everything was just so cool, and everything was just so good. And I was just like, I'm just so happy that I'm able to experience that. So I do appreciate the people that have reached out and given their condolences. Like, by all means, I appreciate that. But by no means am I sad or crying or feel like any type of way, like other than good. Um, and I'm just grateful for that. Like, we've been, like, everything has just been so good and light and joking. And yeah, I've been talking to the kids. The kids were already prepared. We already knew what was gonna happen, and had a chance to spend extra time. And um like, you have to talk to your kids about stuff like that. You can't let death, because death is just a part of life. You can't let that stuff just pop up. You know what I'm saying? Just pop up on them. Like, you have to. So like, they real cool. Goodbye. The kids are so funny. I was like, what's the point of funerals? He said, as soon as the funeral over, he'd be like, everybody just eating and forgetting. He said, eating and forgetting. He said, everybody seemed like they just forgot that they was just over here crying and doing this. And he said, everybody eating and forgetting. And he right. As soon as the service is over, it's like a party. It just kind of transitions into something else. And like, them kids are so observant, they be paying attention. He be like, everybody just be eating and forgetting. I'm like, well, I don't be forgetting. I might eat a little bit. And I don't really do funerals unless I feel like I have to be there. Like, in this case, I have to be there. But like, you don't catch me. Like, I don't see how people be funeral going and funeral hopping. I can't do that. I don't see how people do that. Like, if I show up, I cared about you a lot, because that's not something that I do. So it's real chill. Like, really real. Just real about that. So I'm just proud. To just be in this space and to have known such a great guy. So I'm not feeling no type of way. Ain't nobody got to be feeling like, oh, I got to get in touch with you and see how you doing. I'm doing great. Like, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. A little busy, been working, a little tired a little bit, but that, when you hard working, that comes with it sometimes. So I'm doing great. The kids are doing great. We all doing great. So let's get to rolling with this topic that I am dedicating to my stepfather, Carl Edward Bibbs. Great man. We'll never forget you. He'll live on forever, because we'll never forget you. Me, the kids, and their kids, or anybody, will always have stories, and that love will stick. It's gonna stick. So, helping parents and older relatives keep their home clean and organized. So, it was just crazy. Everything just kind of, even before I had this client this past weekend, like, this was the topic. I just hadn't released it, and it just all kind of like fell into place. So apparently, I'm sure that my client's the daughter had come home and was just taking a look around her, her mom's house, just peeping, just peeping the scene. And you have to do that. I do that all the time. I don't know. I don't think everybody does that. I don't know if they do it and they just don't care to help after they see that, there are areas that can be, that need to be a little bit better, need to be worked on or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, but I noticed what she did. She went home and she was taking a look around and she was looking in the kitchen and it was a lot of stuff. It was like, hey, I know you need to get this taken care of. You need to get this done. And I know you're not, she knows she wasn't going to be able to do it by herself. That is overwhelming. Decluttering can be very, very, very overwhelming. And then especially when you're older. And on top of that, you just don't want to do it. It can be a lot. So she reached out and she got her mom on board. I figured, and sometimes parents are a little apprehensive, like, I don't want nobody in my house like that. And I don't know. And you don't know what kind of job they're going to do, or you may be wondering about the energy and stuff like that. But I'm always like certain, like once we have like the assessment, everything's going to go great after the assessment, because we just get a chance to talk and have a conversation and check things out together. And I get an opportunity to tell them, what my plans are and how I plan to remedy, that situation. So I love that last assignment because it was so intentional. Like, you just think somebody loved you so much, like they see a problem. They see a problem, having too much stuff, that's a problem. It causes problems. And they love you enough to pay attention and be so intentional about it and to figure out a way. It's like, I can't come down there and be down there and do all that work. And she may not even want to do it. I don't know what the circumstance was, or her train of thought. But guess what? I'm intentional enough and I love her enough. I'm going to get her some help. How about that? And I'm going to figure that, I'm going to come up with a solution one way or the other. And she did. So she hired me and it just worked out so great. So it all ties into the podcast for tonight. So first, you have to start by understanding their routine. When you're dealing like with your parents and older relatives, you have to start by understanding their routine. You have to ask, have conversations, ask them what they struggle with the most. Find out what's already overwhelming. Like, are they struggling with laundry or mail or clutter? Everybody has their thing. And I've noticed, and it's not all older people, but it happens. I just noticed because this is what I do. And I do notice that people that get older, they tend to hold on to things. And it can create a hoarding situation. It's not even intentional. And for them, it's organized chaos. But I just noticed when people get older, things start to accumulate. I'll say that. And just don't assume stuff. You go into somebody's house, go in their home, your parents, and you just start assuming, well, she didn't do that and she could have did that. And the reason she did that, I know, was yada, yada, yada. So many older adults do things a certain way for a reason. They have a routine and they do things a certain way, and that's what they know. So don't assume that they're doing something for this reason, when in reality, it may be a completely different reason. You have to go in and talk to them. You can't go in and just be like taking over. And I know, like, when you have like my mom, she's older, but she's not old. But I find myself even with that, like, I'm like, mama, like, she'll be telling me sometime, like, when did the child become the parent? And I'll be like, I don't know. When it happened. You know what I'm saying? Because we be like, and we know, and the children be knowing what's right. It's not just because like we're the children and we're younger, we don't know no better. Like, I'm smart and I'm wise. I'm not saying I know everything, but the stuff that I know, and I present that to her. So, but you don't want to go in like you're just taking over. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. It's not going to really turn out well. You're going to get some tension. It's going to be some back and forth. 2, you want to make spaces simpler and not different. Okay? Reduce clutter rather than rearranging everything. You want to clear walkways. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one. Reduce clutter rather than rearranging everything. So I made sure, the last client that I had, so her kitchen was set up a certain way. Just think, you've been in your space for 10, 20, 30 years. And everything, even if it's chaotic and crazy, even if it's clutter everywhere, that same clutter has been in that same spot for all those years. So it's like muscle memory. Like you're going to go to the same spot all the time because that's what you know. You know what I'm saying? So when they're older and you go in there and do a declutter project. So what I did this past weekend is I kept the things like in her cabinets and stuff remotely pretty much in the same space. I just had to pull everything out, get rid of what we didn't need, and clean the cabinets out real good and put it back in there and organize it. But I tried my absolute best to keep everything in its same vicinity because that would be confusing for me. I'm not gonna even lie. Like if you go in there and just start reading, you know how you go to the grocery store sometime and they switch up the aisles on you, and you be going to the grocery store all the time, and then they switch the aisles up on you, and you go in there and you can't find anything and you're frustrated. It's the same concept with this, what I'm saying. If I go in there and everything that was on this side of the kitchen and I turn it and put it on this, and it's on this side at the top, and I put it over here at the bottom and have everything all which way, it's gonna eventually they'll get used to it, but it's gonna cause, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go in there. Just reduce the clutter, just clean up the space and get it organized and get it right, but try not to rearrange everything. You want to clear walkways and common paths through the home. Um, that's just making things simpler. You're not really changing anything except you're getting rid of that hazard. And again, remove trip hazard, rugs, cords, any extra furniture. Remove anything that could cause a fall. The goal is to keep things where they expect to find them, just cleaner and easier to reach. Keep things where they expect to find it, like they feel like it's supposed to be there, it's been there. Keep it in that space, but just make it cleaner and more organized. And easier to reach, and things easier to reach. And that's what I have to do um with this last client as well. She's short, so, and she has tall cabinets, and the top cabinets, they were already kind of tall. They had like 3 shelves. So I had to at least try to get the bulk and especially priority items down to her level. You know what I'm saying? And there are other people in the house that can reach, the top stuff, but I know that she's mainly the one that's in the kitchen. So I had to make sure to keep that in mind as I was working. So keep things where they expect to find them, just cleaner and easier to reach. Okay. Create small systems that do the work. Okay. So you can create little systems that'll help do the work for you and make things a whole lot easier. For example, a basket by the door for keys and mail. They know when they see that basket, it's in a certain space, it's for keys or it's for mail, and they will expect that to be there, and they just know to drop the keys in there or drop the mail in this contained space. One laundry hamper per room. Some people have just like one hamper in the house. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been having hampers everywhere, in everybody room got a hamper. My towels, they have a hamper, a separate hamper, because I don't wash my towels with regular clothes. So the towels have a hamper. I have a hamper out for like my work towels. Then I have the towels for the house that we use. Have a hamper, because people, they'll just tend, be tired, they're older, be taking their clothes off. And if it's not a hamper, it's just gonna go somewhere. It's gonna go somewhere, anywhere that is not, but it's not gonna be where it's supposed to go. And then, okay, so now it's on the floor and all these other inconspicuous places, and you're older, so all that bending over, you don't need to be doing all of that. Put a hamper in each room for them. Have a specified box for donation, for things that they no longer need. So when they're kind of just, going through their day and they're through the house and, in different spaces, you run across things that you don't need anymore and be like, oh, I got this and I sure don't need it. And I'm telling you, you win the older crowd over when you tell them that you're donating things. Like if you can donate it and they can go to a good cause or family, great. But what you don't want to tell somebody is, I'm throwing your stuff away. Then they become like apprehensive and resistant to you taking things, out, because they don't like, just throwing out what they consider, good stuff. Don't be throwing out that good stuff. That's good stuff. So have a designated box somewhere, and when they feel like they don't need it or want it anymore, they want to donate it, put it in the box. And then at some point, come collect the things that are in the box and go donate, go donate it. Um, One cleaning bin per floor. So if you stay on a flat, it's not a two-story house, this is a flat, designate a cleaning bin for them, for your parents or older relatives. And it just should have like a all-purpose spray, something good, towels and gloves. Small systems remove effort and thought. So when you have a bin with your little cleaning stuff, you don't have to think about going and gathering up this out of this cabinet and this drawer. Every little thing you need is right there, accessible to them. Have a box for them. They don't like to get rid of things. Sometimes your parents, older relatives, they don't like to get rid of things. A laundry hamper at each room. So these tips are helping you help them. You see what I'm saying? These are tips for you to help them. Go in and put that basket in for their mail and their keys. Go in and put those hampers. When they get older, so when you come to help, you're not spending all day. You just grab those clothes out of those hampers, go collect those hampers, go grab all that mail, go through shred what need to be shredded, do these little systems to help you help them. 4, focus on the three highest impact areas. Of course, it's your kitchen, your bathroom, and your entryways. So just say you have relatives, because you're not there all the time, unless you live with them. Some people live with their relatives, but some people may live in the same city with their relatives, and then some people are far away, so they can't get. So these are just systems and tips, again, like I said, to help you help them. So when you do have time to go there, focus on these 3 areas: the kitchen, the bathroom, entryways. Because like I said, you go over there and visit, you're not going to be there all day and all night. You may not be there for several days to get all of these tasks done. It'd be a lot. It's a lot maintaining the home, so you can't do everything. But when you come in, you need to have target areas. It's like certain things so that you can help get things done. You know what I'm saying? So like their kitchen, the main things you can focus on in the kitchen to help them is like sanitation, just making sure it's clean. Everybody need and deserve a clean kitchen. Yeah, they don't need to be in there in a dirty kitchen, cooking food and moving around. You can get sick, all of that. Expired foods. I noticed the older the client, the more or less they pay attention to stuff like that, like expired foods. There'd be a lot of expired foods in the refrigerator. It's a lot of expired foods in the cabinets, and the stuff just keeps accumulating, and they're not going to go through and be looking at this stuff all the time. They're just not. And even for me, we were doing we had the client to declutter on this past weekend, and listen, I'm looking at expired, like the seasonings and the expired dates on packages. Look, I'm like I can't see shit. And I'm 45, and I'm squinting. Like, oh my God, like I can't. So you just think someone 20 years your senior, or 30 years your senior, your parents say, oh, they can't see that. They just can't, because I barely can. Like, honestly, I think I need to go get me like a little magnifying glass, like when I do like those expires. But thank God for young eyes, because I had Kabah there. So look, he was able to whip through it. Yeah, that's old. That's good. Because those eyes are sharp. So, I'll use that to my advantage. So just think somebody 20, 30 years, your senior, and you expect them to go in there and struggle with that. It's just not going to happen. So that's a good thing for you to do, When you're there in the kitchen, keeping it clean, expired foods. The bathroom, you want to focus on slip safety. Anything in there that they can slip on, like handle that, remove it, fix it, repair, whatever you need to do that. But that's something that you can do because you're not there with them, especially if you're not there with them all the time. Anything can happen when you're away. So you want to do whatever you can to prevent any falls. And you also want to look for mold. You want to prevent falls. And of course, you want to keep your bathroom clean and sanitized, but mold, that's a thing. You know, sometimes like the ventilation in the bathrooms and it be water problems and issues, like I don't know, but that be a thing, you know, mold, and they just be in there just kind of living with it and dealing with it. You know, it's like, well, it ain't, but you can just smell it. So, you know, people need other people around. You need family members and people that care enough to like be really just looking out for you in those ways. You know, don't just be going over there. Yeah, I went over so and so house. Yeah, they all right. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be like a gaggle of things that need to be handled. You know what I'm saying? And nobody take the time to say, you know what? Like it's about 255 cans of food in the cabinet, and I know they're not all in date. That can't be like what's going on, like things to trigger in a way, you know, to help. Like it's crazy. Um, and another thing is like your entryways. Again, we're talking about being safe. You don't want any falls, not only in the bathroom, but anywhere in the house. So definitely entryways, bathrooms, anywhere that's high traffic, you want to make sure that it's free and clear. Um, and if you can only do a little, like start there. Like it don't take nothing to go pick some shit out from in the middle of the floor so don't nobody fall. You can do that. You know, ain't nobody expecting you like the first time you go help somebody or try to, you know, get a plan going to make things better. Like nobody expect you to go in and do like a full kitchen declutter. Like just, yeah, I'm gonna come over here. Nobody expect you, but there are little things that you can do. You know, don't just count it out and don't do anything. You know, there are little things that you can do. Um, so and for like for people who do live near each other, the relatives they, you know, nearby and live nearby, these are just a few things that you can do like when you visit for people that stay kind of close by. When you just swing by, when you swing by the house, you can like do some vacuuming, some light vacuuming. You can do some reorganize some cabinets. You can do just one or two cabinets. You can open a cabinet and just organize a shelf. Just do something. You know what I'm saying? Just organize a shelf. You don't have to go in there full throttle and do everything. Just do something. You can help by cleaning the fridge and pantry. I noticed the older people get, they don't be messing with their fridge like that. You know, taking all that stuff out. You have to take all this stuff out of the fridge. You have to go through all of that stuff. Those condiments, they be in there forever. They be, you know, the lids on the caps and stuff. It be, you know, dried up this and expired that. Like they're not going in there looking for that stuff. Stuff being there moldy sometime, and then it's good to, you know, have a good spray and spray it down. But it's even better when you take those shelves and stuff out. You know they're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So when you just come, just real quick, just make it a goal. Say, hey, when I go over here, hey, knock out and do what I got to do. I don't stay too far from you. We stay nearby. Handle this little task and go on home. And of course, laundry. Like that's a no-brainer. Like you can always help with laundry. Somebody always got some laundry, and it's quick. Like it's not like you're doing all the work. You're going to sort the clothes. Once you put it in the machine is doing the work. And then after it's done washing, you put it in the dryer gonna do the rest of the work. The only thing is taking it out and folding it up. And I don't know, that's kind of like one of my things. I don't know why. It's just it is. And like people that know me, like friends, if I were to go to their house, they have like clothes on the couch. They be having clothes on the couch. Like I just fold it up. Like of course I'm comfortable with these friends to be, you know, folding up, you know, their clothes and stuff. So it's not a problem. and they really, really, really appreciate it. But that's just kind of a way that you can help real quick. Like, I'm over here to talk and hang out, or whatever the reason I came. It might not even be that. It might be some business, but just that quick, I can go over there and fold up some laundry, because I had one friend in particular, like 3 smaller, young children, and that's all she do is laundry all the time. So she appreciate that little help. I'm not there every day, but she needs the help, and she don't mind me helping. I'll do that real quick, and then that's just the end of that. We can keep talking about whatever we're talking about, but just in that moment, I was able to help her. So laundry is always um, a good thing to do. Another tip when doing that, when you're going over to go help, start one room at a time. Don't just go in, the whole house might kind of be out of sorts a little bit. Don't go in there like, oh my gosh, I got to fix all of this at one time and go from room to room to room. You're never going to get anything done. You're never going to get anything accomplished. So in order to see results, start one room, make it your focus. Be like, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over so-and-so house twice a week. I got time this week. I'm going to go over there twice a week. So one day I'm going to go over there. You may just sit and talk and, enjoy each other company. You might do that. I mean, you can set it up however you want to set it up. But then the next visit, you may be like, okay, my goal is I'm going to start tackling the dishes in the kitchen. I noticed that it's just a lot of, or just, something, just pick something and just stay in that room. So the kitchen is your focus, or if it's a bedroom, or if it's a garage, whatever it is. And just every time that you come visit, that second time, you go there twice a week, just one time a week, go into that room and have a goal set in place. And eventually, it's not going to fix itself overnight. It may take you a month or two, and it depends on how dedicated and intentional you are about helping and visiting this person or these people as to how soon you can get it done. And make it a shared project. Don't make people feel like you coming in and taking over. Have a conversation. You know the person that you're dealing with, their demeanor and their attitude and how to connect with them. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, so I noticed you got a whole lot of stuff in that room and I want to help you. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a list of things. I know you've been talking about you want to get it done and it's bothering you. We're going to make a list of things that we need to get done in that room. And you're going to have a list and I'm going to have a list. And it's going to be the same list. We can start here. We're going to do this together. And this week when I come over, I'm going to come over on Wednesday evening. And we're going to tackle this, getting all the books over here organized and out the room because they need to be donated or they need to go in storage somewhere or something. Like, just make a plan. Don't make it feel like you're just coming in and taking over people's space. People tend not to, care for that. And when people feel more involved, they're more relaxed and they're more, comfortable with the whole situation. So now on the flip side, when they live far away, you can still keep things flowing. You can hire a cleaner monthly, even if it's just for a couple of hours. It doesn't have just a little something, and the person can tell them like what they would like for them to focus on. And people do that. Like, I have clients and they're older clients. Every last one of them have done this exact same thing. Once a month, 2 hours. And in 2 hours, the things that they don't get a chance to do it or don't want to do or have a hard time doing, that's what they hire us to do. Like, it'll be 2 hours and she may say, can you just clean my bathrooms? Just work on my bathrooms. Or I just need for you to do my floors. One of my clients have a large area of flooring and wanted swept and dust mopped and wanted actual mop really, really well and wanted mopped a certain way. So we spend those 2 hours doing it, and it helps her so much because that's a lot of space to be covering when you're older like that, and it's done and she don't have to worry about it. And then the bathroom, again, you don't want to be in there slipping and falling because when you're in the bathroom cleaning, you're spraying product, you're using water kind of splashing, and it don't take but one little, skirt. And I'm telling you, you'll be on your back in that bathroom. Like, shoot, like I know I've had So if you want to help in areas where they know they can benefit the most. Um, Arrange regular deliveries for them, cleaning supplies, paper goods, laundry supplies. Um, have that stuff delivered to their home so they don't have to, just make things more easy and accessible to them. This is if you stay far away. And again, use a shared to-do list. So when you have a goal in mind and you're away, y'all can still have the same goals and have conversation about it, even if, y'all aren't in the same space. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still get help. It doesn't necessarily have to be hands-on. There's so many other ways that you can help. Um, and you can also ask a friend or a neighbor to be a local contact. So it's just good to know people. You know what I'm saying? It's just good to know people. Just say, like, how I'm in Oklahoma, my mom is in Arkansas. Like, it would be so dope if I had a person that I could just connect with and be like, hey, I need you to swing by mom's house. And I noticed the last time that I was there, this was going on. Can you go over there and spend 2 hours? Like, listen, we can do some bartering. I can pay you. Like, we'll figure it out. But if there's a will, there's a way. And it would just be cool. Somebody that you knew that was trustworthy and you could have that type of relationship with. Now, I don't, and I've never tried that, and I don't be interested because it's even the distance between me and my mom. Like, I'm gonna go down there and do it. Like, I'm gonna just drive, take the 5.5 hours, and I'm gonna go whatever it is that need to be done. I don't rely on any contact, point of contact for anything. So, like, I'll be making sure my mom good as best as I can from the distance. Like, I think I do a really, really good job making sure that they, like, I was at home, but before I came back, literally I was about to get ready to, like, walk out the door. I had sat down for a little bit and we were all getting ready to leave, and I just kind of looked up and I noticed her ceiling fan had like some dust bunnies on it, and I was like, ooh, mm-hmm. Kaden, go in there and get the stuff and clean that up. And then Eli, go get that broom, because whatever fall on the floor need to be swept up and put up. Just that quick. It didn't take us long to do that. It didn't take me long to identify the problem, get somebody to, hey, I knew who to do what, tell who to do what. They did it and we were out. But I know that there was not something that she focused on. And she may have seen it. But again, my mom, she's not old. She's just older, and she's not reaching up there and climbing on stuff. And I wouldn't suggest that she would do that. She got these tall grandsons. You better get up there and get that dust off of that. That was on the way out the door, but I'm always trying to pay attention and help her, even in little ways they end up being big, because I know she, appreciates that. And also, if the budget is tight, we're talking about hiring somebody. I know everybody's financial situation is different, and everybody still deserve to be helped, and they still deserve, to have a functioning home. But they do have volunteer groups, church groups, senior centers. They have places that offer help for free. Now, you have to be resourceful and you have to seek out those resources. You can't be lazy, but if you really want it, there are people that are out here to assist. You can also, another tip is use time-based cleaning instead of motivation. So just time-based. Tell them, like, hey, oh, mom, like, a really good thing would be is like 10 minutes a day. Just set a timer. Or if it's, you know what I'm saying, 8:50, at 9 o'clock, stop, cease and desist what you're doing. But in those 10 minutes from 8:50 to 9, it's like, tidy up. In 10 minutes, just go through the house and pick up anything that you can pick up that's out of place, anything that need to be put somewhere, anything that need to be cleaned up. Just 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes is up, walk away, and just do that every day. Just do that every day, 10 minutes. And then also, again, like I said earlier, one room per day. I do not suggest people just going in all these different rooms. You will never feel like you've accomplished anything, because you would not have. You know what I'm saying? Stick to one room. Dedicate a monthly like fridge and pantry clear out. Um, the fridge and pantries and stuff, they just go on and on and on and on. And it just kind of depends on like your rotation, like how often you buy groceries and like kind of like what your home life look like. Do y'all cook a lot? Do you have a lot of food in the fridge? And if so, and even if not, like once a month I feel is worthy. Now a pantry clear out, I say maybe every 2 months, maybe not every single month. I would maybe rotate between the two. And when you create simple, predictable routines, they succeed. You don't want to make things complicated. Like um, everything needs to be predictable. We're here to help. We're here to be intentional. We're here to help, and we're here to move on. Another thing is remove the biggest barriers. And these are common problems you may need to solve when people are older, your parents, older relatives. Heavy vacuums, replace with lightweight stick vacuums. I'm telling you, older people have, and I have some of my clients and they're older, they have the biggest, bulkiest vacuums I've ever seen in my life. Those vacuums look like the vacuums that back in the day, the people, I guess, would come to your door and sell vacuums and they would have a suit on and shit. Like those vacuums be heavy. Like my client was trying to get me to, I was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not gonna drag this thing out of this closet. She said, oh, but it does really, really good. And I said, I understand. But that's the reason why you don't even vacuum your floors often, because the vacuum is too heavy. So you go to your parents' home or older relatives, they got a big bulky, replace it. Either you pay for it, replace it, they may be willing to. It ain't all about you being completely financial responsible. A lot of times when you give them good ideas and offer help, they'll fund the help. You know what I'm saying? They'll fund it. I need a more, you're right, I do need a lighter vacuum cleaner. Can you go on, buy me one, go to the store and buy me one, or you can go on Amazon and get them one. But if heavy vacuums, replace with a lightweight vacuum. Low shelves, don't need to be bending over and doing all of that. Like if you in shape and you can, I'm not trying to, baby the parents and the older well. I'm not saying that, I'm just being logical. It's just wiser to move things to like waist level, because all that bending and lifting and doing that, they can cause a problem. Like I said, I'm not, just there yet, but all that bending and stooping, like some days everybody be like, wait a minute. And also too many cleaning products. You can simplify that to like 2 or 3 good products that work really well together. Another example, with my declutter that I had, it was a lot of like cleaning products. It's like you don't even know what to use at this point. You just grabbing stuff. Like you don't need, unless you have like a cleaning business, and even with that, you don't need like so many things. So when you're helping them, reduce that for them, because those are barriers. So they know they can just grab this little spray bottle and this little rag and this little that, and that's all that they need. And it's gonna get the job. And if anything else needs to be done more than that, then somebody might need to just come and help. The amount of decisions that you reduce, the amount of accidents you reduce. So when they don't have so many decisions to make, less accidents happen. Like when you got a lot of decisions, this going on over here, this going on, I got a trip fall hazard over here, the bathroom slippery, or it's got mold in it, or I got like the vacuum heavy, like cause they can hurt themselves with the heavy vacuum. So like when you reduce the amount of decisions and make things simple, you're gonna reduce accidents from happening, and that's always a good thing. Another tip is label. Labels do wonders for like memory, and aging and shared care. So like on your cleaning supplies for them can be labeled, like dishes, emergency drawers, medication, label. That helps them when you get older, like your memory. Some people memory, I'm not saying everybody, like that's just something that's just gonna happen, but it tend to do what it do. So um labels. Labels are awesome. I love labels. You know, it um you don't have to, you don't want to hinder them, but it just takes a lot of thought out of a lot of stuff. So that's the goal. Like we're trying to reduce a lot of, again, like decision making and thought. We're just trying to get a flow, get them set up to where there's a flow in the house. And even if they don't need labels, everybody may not need labels, but labels can help other people help them. You know what I'm saying? You got people that, you know, be on different, like, you know, all this medication and got other stuff going on, so that when you come to help or somebody else come to help, those labels help people know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I love a good label. Watch for signs that they need more help. Look for the red flags. Like I said, a lot of times people, they know that people be needing help. You know what I'm saying? They just choose to voluntarily overlook the red flags. You go into your parents' home or your older relatives and you see stacks of paper, lots of paper stacked, um, overflowing laundry, multiple expired foods, trash not being taken out, visible dust buildup. Small changes often reveal bigger needs. So if they're starting to let their trash build up and this is going on, those sometimes can just indicate like surface level needs that are really like indications for bigger things behind the scene. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it, because it's like if you're having trouble containing your mail or your laundry, you know, there are other things in your house that are way more complicated. Trying to find my words tonight, y'all. It's more complicated. So if you're having trouble with the simpler things, the more complicated things, I'm for sure probably are getting neglected. So just keep an eye out, you know, for stuff like that when you're helping your parents and older relatives. Also, make it emotional as well as practical. Um, Cleaning, it can touch pride and independence. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you start to go in and helping your parents and older relatives, like it's something they're going to recognize that is help. And some people feel like their independence is being attacked. I don't need no help. I know how to do this. I have heard that so many times, and it'll be clients who have hired me for their parents, and it's the same story over and over and over. In reality, they do. But when you go in there, just understand that they may feel some type of way about it. So just know that, you know, it may touch their little independence. And even though you may have the best intentions, we just have to be mindful of those things. So you want to use languages like we. Let's clean this together. We're going to do this together. We're going to accomplish this together. And let's make a decision on this. And let's figure out what we're going to do on that. And also frame it around safety and comfort. It's like, Mom, like, I love you. I'm not trying to come in here and take over. You know, have conversations. I'm not trying to come in here and take over, but I love you and I care about you. And I'm not here. I'm not literally right down the street from you. So when I'm away, there are certain things that go on in here that, you know, are red flags to me, and it heightens my concern because I want you to be safe. I want you to be safe in here, and I want you to be comfortable in here. So that's where the concern is coming from. I'm not trying to come in here and take over, and like that's how I would approach it. I don't have to have that conversation with my mom because she'd be like, "You can come in here and do whatever you want. You want to clean the ceiling fans? Great. You want to come fold this laundry? Great." So these are kind of tips. Say me and Diane don't have that problem. I love helping her. And give them choices. Again, don't go in just taking over. Well, we're gonna do this, and you want somebody to come in, like give them a choice, you know, if they want that done and who they want to do that, and make them feel a part. Like I said, nobody wants to feel like you're just going to come in and take over and they don't have a voice. And of course, and this is a big one, avoid judgment. People go in and they judge all the time. Oh, it look a mess in here, and what you got going on in here, and don't go and don't go, don't do that. I don't even really see how people just have time. When I tell you I am so non-judgmental, I love what I do, but I do not take that home with me. It's too much energy. It's too much energy. I am literally there to help solve the problem and go home. Get my money and go home. See them smile and be happy. That's always a perk in the bonus. Like, as soon as you judge, the guards are gonna go up. Their guards are gonna go up, and good luck with that. So nobody want to hear that. It's like, I know it look a fucking mess in here. I don't need you to come in here and tell me that. Either you gonna help or you not. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Don't judge. And the goal also is to help them stay self-reliant. It's not like you're going to go in there, you're helping them. You're not trying to turn them into a baby. You're not trying to, I hate to use that word, handicap them, but y'all know what I mean. You're not trying to, you know, get them like, no, you're doing it to help make them more self-reliant. You're just trying to approach it in a different way. Maintain and don't overhaul. A home organization system only works if it's easy to maintain, it matches their habits, it doesn't require new skills. You know, you have to figure out your flow and people habits and what they do, and then you have to come up with a plan that supports that. Because some people, they just move a different way. Everybody do. And so you're going to have to come up with a plan and a solution that is going to support how they live and what their habits are. You can't have them and expect them to do things that they never have done or they don't want to do. It's never going to work. You're going against the grain. So it still has to feel natural. It still has to feel like it's not being forced. You know, just maintenance, matching their habits, and doesn't require anything new for them to learn or pick up, because at this age it's kind of like, I'm just kind of where I am right now. We're gonna work with what I feel like doing and want to do and can do, but I don't feel like I'm that way when it comes, like, I don't feel like learning this. I don't want to do this. So, you know, they may be the same way. And if it's more than 2 steps to something that they need to do, if it's more than 2 steps, make it simpler. Keep that thing, those projects, all this stuff, keep it as simple as you can. And that's going to help. Anything other than 2 steps is going to overwhelm and it's going to go downhill. And last but not least, talked about it a little bit, you know, outsource strategically when needed. You know, your good options, a professional cleaner, a handyman for seasonal tasks, a laundry service. If you don't want to do the laundry, you don't have anybody, right? They do have laundry services, a decluttering specialist. And in some cases, you know, this can be most cost effective support of all. Like if you have the money to support them in those ways, it may be more cost effective than driving 5 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours. By the time you get through with gas and resources, it would have just been easier to hire somebody. Just take the time, be intentional, hire somebody that you trust, you know, and trust, and that's dependable and loyal, and just have them take care of whatever needs to be taken care of for your parents or older relative. I'll just be telling people, like, all the time is a way. People be like, well, I stay far away, I can't help. Nah, even from a distance, you can help. And if they are people that you love, like, as far as I stay from my mom, there is nothing that I feel like I can't help her do or help solve if she needs something, whether it's outsourcing something or literally just showing up physically, which happens most of the time. But there's always a way. It's just people decide to turn a blind eye. They go to your parents' house. It's like, your parents and older relatives, they're older. They're tired. All this cleaning, all this cooking, all this, things have accumulated. They're tired. And I mean, you don't have to go in there. It's not like when I go to my mom's house, I'm working from sun up, sundown. I know. I just go in, I see where she may need some help, a little few tasks that I know that I'm going to do. I do that stuff and I move on. If it's something that needs some attention, a little bit more attention, I would have a conversation with her, but like she do good, keeping her house a certain way. So we don't really have that, and she don't like clutter and stuff like that at all. So I don't have that with her, but I just see in other spaces where people can really help your family members and other people that you love in your life, just do better and help. Like there's always a way. So don't say what you can't do. Don't make those excuses. And you definitely can't make any excuses now, because we had a whole hour and a minute of podcast time. How you can do just that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for your support. I hope my Poppy enjoyed my podcast that I dedicated to him this evening. I'm still just so excited. I'm glad to be here. It's the beginning of December, so I wish you all happy holidays and peace and joy and all the things, all the good things. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your love. And I'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Good night.
Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? Nah, nah, nah. No drama, yeah.